I was recently making a batch of our vegan white chocolate bars for our bakery, and it got me thinking, why not share the process with you so that you can make your own batch at home? Now, you won't have the wet grinder like we do to get it perfectly smooth, but you can use your blender to get it pretty smooth. Here's how we're going to do it. We're going to start by weighing out all our ingredients. This is for 1 chocolate bar's worth. Feel free to scale up. Maybe test out this process first and see if it works for you before you scale up and waste the ingredients. But we're going to start with 30 grams of cocoa butter, and we're going to do 20 grams of a sugar. You can use cane sugar, coconut sugar, or here we're using allulose. It's the only non-caloric sweetener we found that actually behaves like sugar and lets you temper your chocolate, which is pretty cool. And then we're going to do 23 grams of milk powder, coconut milk powder in this case. I like to get it from UPick because some other brands use corn-based maltodextrin in their coconut milk powder, whereas I've confirmed with UPick that they use tapioca-sourced maltodextrin, which is way better than GMO corn, but feel free to use whatever you can get your hands on. Once we've got our ingredients weighed out, we're going to blend our coconut milk powder and our sugar together to get it nice and fine. We want it like powdered sugar. Now, the reason we don't want to use icing sugar, powdered sugar, is because it comes mixed with cornstarch in it. And especially if you're going to make a dark chocolate bar without this milk powder, you're going to notice a textural difference and it's not going to temper. And you may even notice the flavor of the cornstarch coming through. So that's why we like to make our own powdered sugar. I ran the blender a couple of times, and in between I shook it just to make sure the stuff on the sides was getting mixed through. Once I was happy with that, then we got to melting our cocoa butter. There's 2 ways you can melt your cocoa butter. You can do it in 30-second bursts in your microwave. Just remember, chocolate is sensitive when you don't want to accidentally burn it. So that's why we're doing 30-second intervals. It will take quite a bit of time to melt your cocoa butter. It has quite a high melting point compared to dark chocolate. Or you can use what we're doing here, and it's the double boiler method, where you get a pot of water steaming and you put a heat-proof bowl over top. Now, you don't want the water to actually get in your chocolate. You got to be careful there because it can cause your chocolate to seize. But this is a nice, easy way to control your melting, and we were able to also add our sugar and our milk powder here at the same time to kind of use the heat to help the sugar to dissolve. So you're just gonna want to give it a stir once in a while until it's fully melted. Then we add in our coconut milk powder and our sugar. In this case, it's the allulose. And then we're going to give it a stir until all the clumps are gone and it's nicely incorporated. You could also do this in your blender if you wanted to melt your cocoa butter and then pour it into your blender and blend it. You would get an even smoother result. I was just feeling a little lazy and didn't want to clean the cocoa butter out of my blender afterwards. And since we're talking about dishes here, one tip is to clean your dishes as soon as you're done working with chocolate. It's a lot easier to clean them while they're fresh. If you let them sit and set, you're going to need a lot hotter water and a lot more scrubbing to get your stuff clean. So as soon as I'm done with any of my equipment, I will go and clean it immediately. So now we're going to pull it off heat, and I'm just trying to make sure it's nice and smooth and there's no lumps from the milk powder or the sugar. And then you can choose to temper your white chocolate here. We will leave instructions below, but we are going to skip that step and we're just going to pour it into our mold. And if you're not tempering, the only difference, you're not going to get quite as snappy of a chocolate bar, and you should store it in the fridge since it will melt at a lower melting point. But it's definitely the easier way to go. But if you do want to try the tempering, it's pretty neat to have fully tempered snappy chocolate that you can leave out at room temperature. We will leave the instructions below. It's also much easier to temper a bigger batch of chocolate than a single chocolate bar. So maybe try this out with a single chocolate bar first, and if you have success with this, then scale up and try it on a bigger scale. You're going to pop your chocolate bar into the fridge till it sets, and here we go. We've got our big tray of tempered white chocolate, and we've got our homemade bar of white chocolate. You can listen here, you can see how easy this one snaps. And it's This is our properly tempered white chocolate. See how it takes much more pressure to snap. So you can give this a try, and you don't even have to buy molds for this. You can seriously just pour it on a parchment lined tray and pop it in the fridge. And you can really have some fun with this recipe. You can add mix-ins like cookie pieces to make your own cookies and cream bar. You can add dehydrated strawberry powder and make a strawberry bar, or mix it with sweetened condensed milk to make white chocolate fudge. The possibilities are endless.